Welcome to the video. In this one I'm going to be installing two dash cams. Firstly this one, and then secondly this one, which also has one of the rear view cameras as well. So I'm going to start off by fitting this one, and I'm fitting that one in my truck, and then the second one I'm going to be fitting in Emma's little Fiat Punto. First thing I'm going to do for both of them is just plug them in, obviously make sure they're working. There's no point in doing all the hard work to find out that they're not actually working. Okay, yeah, that's plugged straight in and it's started recording straight away, so it seems to be working fine. I can obviously sort the rest of the settings out after. Yeah, and that one's turned on and started recording. This one has like an internal camera, so you can have it pointing on yourself, which I didn't particularly get this one for, but it is what it is. It sort of works as a bit of a rear view, but yeah, I'm not too worried. And then this is the one that's getting fitted in the truck, so I'll just disconnect that and get the mount for this. This mount's a little bit wobbly, so I'm going to fit this, but then I will probably stick a little bit of glue in there because it might wobble about. But I'll fit it first and I'll see what it's like, and if I need to add some glue or something, I can add that easy enough. So yeah, you just need to decide where you're fitting it. I'm going to have it up in behind the rear view mirror so that it's not really in my eye line, and like I said, I'm not bothered about this camera, so that can be completely covered from that. Set that out there, and then there's just a little thing to fold over, and that suctions in place. A little bit wobbly, but it should be all right. Then you just want to get your cable, plug that in, and then I'm going to follow up next to these cables, and then we're going to tuck this into the head lining. Does this come off? Oh, this little cover comes off. I'm actually going to just pop it behind that cover, because why wouldn't we? So we've just gone into that cover, and then you can go either way around, to be honest. What way is that bending? It wants to go this way, and then you just push it in to the head lining, all the way around. Then, because I've done it this side, I'm just going to jump out into the passenger side. I'm going to tuck it down the pillar. So yeah, we're just going to continue tucking this down here, in behind the pillar. You can actually take these trims off, but most of the time you can actually just get it to pop in behind, like that. I'm actually going to lose the extra length in this corner as well, if I can. And the front's going to go along front of the dashboard, which it doesn't want to tuck into as nicely, so I might have to get a trim tool to tuck that in. I couldn't find the trim tool I was looking for, so I've just got this little spanner that's on an angle. I've just put some tape on just so I don't scratch anything. I'm just going to see if I can push the cable down with that. This is where I've tucked all the excess, and then I'm hoping that I can just, yeah, shove that down behind there. So yeah, that's in all nicely. It runs from this cigarette lighter port on the dashboard, which is handy in this truck, Runs all the way along there, up the pillar, along the head lining, and then it comes down in this handy little bit of trim because this is an electric rear view mirror. It's got like automatic dim, and then as you can see, just about, I'll zoom into that, it's set up and you can just see the sides of the bonnet. So that is set up perfectly. The rear view one, which is that one there, you can't really see it, that's the camera there, so that's just being blocked by the rear view mirror, but because we're not bothered about that one, that one's fine, and that is all done. I'm pretty sure that that one's all set up as we want it. It's got the loop recording, seems to be turned on, it's recording as soon as it comes on, and let's see if we switch the ignition off, and then it turns off when you turn the ignition off. So I think that one is set and good to go. So we'll go into Emma's car now, we'll get that set up. The one thing I didn't check is whether this rear view camera works. This one actually came with that camera, but this camera can have a rear view camera as well, so I'll double check that this works. It's got the port for it and stuff, so I'll check that now, then we'll go into Emma's car and we'll get this all set up. So I just plugged in this rear view camera, and as you can see, it makes an extra box on this, and there we go. You can see that it's working. So let's go into her car and get this and this all set up. So we're in Emma's car now. First and foremost, apologies for the state of this. Her car is horrendously dirty, but I'm not cleaning it till it's warmer, and I don't expect her to clean it while she's pregnant. So this car's slightly different. It doesn't have the dashboard cigarette lighter port. So I'm going to do basically the same thing, apart from when we get down into the corner, it's going to run further down along under the dashboard and then to the back here where her cigarette lighter is in the center console. So I'm going to get this installed again. Just going to go the other side on this one. Right, there seems to be space under the driver's side, so I'm going to go driver's side direction for this one. Same as before, just tucking them all in. We've also got the rear view one, but I'm not going to do that until next. I'll do this first. Right, so I've mounted that one, tucked it up there along the headlining, down the pillar. It just turns the corner at the bottom there, then it comes along just neatly in between those two trims, comes down, and then, sorry about this, then it's just going to have to run under here, but I might have to cable tie that, because the last thing you want is obviously the cable falling down and getting trapped in your legs or being ripped out as you get out of the car. But once it's into there, it's going to get tucked under here, come along to the back, and then she's got this like charger thing which is full of dog hair, and it's going to plug into that because her cigarette lighter port is there, but she uses it for charging her phone and stuff, so it'll go into this extra additional one. Wow, this car needs a clean. Right, so let's turn the ignition on and see if this turns on. It should do.
Lauren and Paul, I'm looking at you.
Cool. So now we've got this reversing one to fit, and we're going to do this very similar way, but we're going to go along the passenger side, in between here if we can, then up along there, all the way along there, and then it's going to get mounted on the rear screen. So I've lost the sticky pad for this. I'm just going to do some double-sided foam tape and then get that stuck to there. So that's all set up there. One cable runs round, down, and plugs into the cigarette lighter, and the other one goes all the way around, up along the door, up through all them trims, round and into the back there. It just comes along through this trim, along through the seal. This red cable is going to get cut off because that's if you want to make it into a reversing camera, which we don't need to in this car. Join the connector in there, and then I've just mounted it to the bodywork so that when you shut the boot, the camera's pointing straight out the back window. Left a little bit of slack just so when you open and shut it, it's not pulling the cable. You can see it just there. There we go then, that's both dash cams set up, the forward facing only and the forward and rear facing, and they were easier than I thought to set up even. All you do is tuck all the cables into the trims and you're pretty much done. They're plug in and play. All the settings that you want were set up on mine, on both of them, so yeah, very easy to do. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.